beloved viewers. It's 9 p.m. You are watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories. A training on a capacity building of social workers for people with disabilities. And on the international scene, Elizabeth Warren throws in the towel. Welcome to our newsroom. The National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, in cooperation with the Arab Labour Organization and the Arab Center for Labour and Employment Management, concluded yesterday, Thursday, at the Sheraton Hotel, two training sessions. The first to relate to the technique for receiving people with special need and processing demand, and second on enhancing teacher skills in the field of communication techniques with people with special need. The closing session took place in the presence of the Minister of Labour and Administrative Reform, Mr. Osman Ibrahim Roble, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed, the Minister of Health, Mr. Mohammed Warsama, and his drawing delegation, in addition to the Director General of the National Agency for Persons with Special Need, Mr. Duali Saeed, and the representative of the Arab Labour Organization, Dr. Islam Abdel Salam. The president of the National Network for People with Special Need, Mr. Idris Mumin, and other guests. The representative of Arab Labour Organization mentioned that the Arab interests of the ILO institution, with a great interest in persons with special need and considering them high-minded, that they have capability and this will enable them to participate effectively in the development with their societies side by side with the rest of the community, noting that the organization is working to devote the right of people with special need in life. He added, holding these two training sessions comes within the framework of the organization is a great interest in people with special need and considering them as high-minded people. Their skills and capabilities should be also invested. In a speech to him on this occasion, the Director General of National Agency for Persons with Special Need reviewed the effort made by the agency to integrate persons with special need into the Djiboutian community and ensure their enjoyment of basic social rights and the provision of appropriate training programs for them, as well as the agency's role in providing appropriate jobs for the person with special needs. Mr. Douali thanked the Arab Labour Organization for holding more than one seminar and training courses on the territory of the Republic of Djibouti, which reflect the importance of the role played by the organization for the benefit of people with special need in our society. In an intervention by the Minister of Health, Mr. Mohammed Warsama Dirie, he noted that these two sessions demonstrate the desire of National Agency for People with Special Need, aiming at giving great value to the people with a disability, and said that the Ministry of Health has put in place special devices for disabled or people with special need. He added that since the establishment of agency, I see that people with special need gain value through the national territory, and that the agency strives to achieve the right of the disabled person. I was pointed out that the Ministry of Health was fully prepared to work as the agency to accomplish its mandate. For his part, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training indicated that the ministry is concerned with these two courses, as we benefit from these courses, as there are disabled students in various educational institutions the minister also praised the effort made by the head of the disabled sections of Ministries of Health, Mr. Idris Mumin. He said that the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training is striving to achieve a comprehensive and balanced education in Djibouti, and where the ministry has laid down a clear plan for access to comprehensive and balanced education. In turn, the Minister of Labor in charge of administrative reform referred to strengthen the agency's effort in terms of training and also their integration into the labor market. He said that persons with disabilities and whether they have degrees and others are entitled to work in Djibouti, and that in every public institution or private sectors in Djibouti there is a specific percentage for disabled person. He stressed that this is a policy of integration of persons and with disabilities into the institution, which is unique to our country, Djibouti, thanks to the vision of the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margeli. He added that we will strengthen cooperation between Djibouti and the organization in order to enhance training courses on technique for receiving people with special need and to enhance the skills of teachers in the field of communication techniques with people with disabilities. The manager of Fair Driving Schools, Mr. Abdullah Habib, launched a driving training courses last month for people with special need, as this is the first step of its kind in the country. This step comes within the framework of the effort and policy of integrating the handicaps and into the labor markets, which is with the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margeli, attach great importance in order to enable this segment of a society, and that through providing training courses that helps them to overcome challenges and improve their living condition. These courses lasted for 2 months and theory to implement their learning after obtaining the driving license for the car category. The trainings will be able to benefit from the car as every other Djiboutian citizen, so will benefit. These schools also provide cars and engines so that the trainees could obtain a certificate in the EVE category. One of the beneficiaries expresses happiness for the participant in these sessions, expressing his readiness to work hard and obtaining a driving certificate. On Saturday, the Popular Rally for Progress Party is scheduled to hold the regular meeting on the party's Central Committee in framework of celebrating of the 41st anniversary of establishment of the party RPP under the patronage of the President of the Republic, party leader Ismail Margeli. This meeting was postponed due to the President's tour to the interior region. Let's watch this magazine together. The RPP was created on March 4 in 1979 in Dakhil, 2 years after the country's independence, by the father of the nation and first president of the Republic, Al-Hajj Hassan Guled Abdidan. The Popular Rally for Progress is thus the first political formation of the country to see the light of the day. Its creation responds to the need of unify the country after the multiple divisions that result from the colonization, and to make himself the founder of the RPP brought together within this party are the political sensitive of the time in order to better strengthen national unity and to face the tribalism and turbulence that the region was going through at the time. The RPP, which is thus one of the oldest parties of the continent, holds its longest on its foundation, which aim to responsible and to resemble the different ideas and all the components of the nation in every sense. It has been able to update to all the time, always expanding its finally and the family as its starting point, and has also created the UMP Union for the presidential majority, which brings together different political parties, always remaining faithful to its principle of the progress. Because of its leading position of the national scene, the RPP has been able to overcome the vibration that have passed through its popular support, which aim its main strength and sources of energy that it's remain constantly in the symbolism with each new era and each new generation through its permanent dialogue and opponent advocate by its second leader who has elected at the head of this formation to preside over the destiny of this party and this country. One of the major achievements under the leadership remain the integration of women in political life. Women have long been marginalized in Djibouti's principal political life. They are now Minister of Muslims Affairs, Culture and Property Wealth, Mr. Mumin Hassan Borre, on January 17 in India on the occasion of a presentation of the film entitled Djibouti, and in the presence of the company Blue Hill Nile. Yesterday, March, the production company Blue Hill started in Duda the shooting of a film Djibouti in the presence of Minister of Muslims Affairs, Culture and Property, Mr. Mumin Hassan Borre, and this with the participation of 60 actors. This operation will be spread over 45 days and will be carried out on more than 26 historical and natural cultural sites in the region and in Djibouti city, with the Djiboutian Institute of Art and Cinematography. The films will be translated into several international and national languages.
Storyline is a love between our relations between two countries in Djibouti and India. Um, we like so much Djibouti because of the reason your culture and attitude is the main. The culture is very polite and very beautiful cultures. All people are very lovely peoples. So we are very comfortable to do this work in Djibouti. So thank you so much.
In a speech, the director of culture ministry, he welcomed at the beginning the Indian delegation, stressing that their participation in such an occasion reflect India's interest in collaborating and contributing the work alongside with Djiboutian people in its endeavor to promote the national culture. He also pointed out that this occasion is the result of the effort of the President of the Republic by the Ministry of represent by the Ministry of Culture, aiming at promoting to the national culture and the process of producing films in Djibouti. That with the participation of major international companies concerned with the productions and filming a film in Djibouti. The Director of Technical Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Duxier, Aulet Duxier, presided over yesterday ceremony to launch the training in computer graphic at Gabod Technical High Schools. This training was attended for new graduates of the Baccalaureate Pro Computer Science in Reception and Business Administrations. This intensive treatment courses aims to enable learners to acquire a culture link to the arts of expressions and graphic, and to prioritize information to make it attractive and enjoyable to see, and above all integrate immediately into a professional environment through knowledge of desktops publishing programs such as photographer, Photoshop, and design. Under the auspice of the Ministry of Health, the first phase of a campaign to vaccinate children to protect against disease continue in educational institution in the Tujora region. The campaign launching ceremony took place in the presence of the regional authorities and senior personnel from the Ministry of Health. According to the Ministry of Health, this process continue for a period of 8 days, and the hospital has also mobilized all the hospital staffs, including doctors, nurses, and technicians, to make this campaign successful. In a statement to the Ministry of Health, the ministry called on all the parents to take their children to the health centers near them to vaccinate their children. Moving on to Dikhil now, within the framework of the program to strengthen the capacity of local actors to develop economic activities and access to water, hygiene, and sanitation on their territory, and financed by the IFD, the Dikhil Regional Council, in collaboration with the NGO Sahel International Friends and Djibouti office, organized this Thursday March coordinations of the consultation framework for water, hygiene, and sanitation actors. The objective of the workshop, on the one hand, is to restitute the main results and recommendation of the evaluation mission on the functioning of management committee of water points, and on the other hand, to create a framework for exchange and consultation with the different participants on the good governance of the water points. To finish our national news, we receive with great sorrow and sadness the news of the death of Miss Nim'a Ishaq Nur, who passed away on Thursday. The disease was born in the year 1937 in Djibouti, and the disease was the mother of Ali Mahar Daoud, the director of Maritime Affairs. In these painful circumstances, all the staffs of RTD send their condolences to the family. May Allah grant her soul in His eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Moving on to international scenes, Elizabeth Warren is throwing into the towel. She is dropping out on the Democratic nomination race for November presidential election. For more details in this report. Elizabeth Warren is throwing in the towel. She is dropping out of the Democratic nomination race for the November presidential election. She had suffered heavy defeats in the 20 were so primary held so far. I am suspending my presidential campaign, she said in front of her home. I say this with great gratitude to everyone involved in this fight, everyone who wanted to try new ideas. The Massachusetts senators add that she is not prepared to announce a rally today. Her very left-wing views will push her over the side of Bernie Sanders. The senators from Vermont now finds himself in a near confrontation with former Vice President Joe Biden. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.